All right, we're live. Welcome, everybody. This is Rev. I am Bruce. We are going to do a podcast live for you here. We're going to record the podcast. We're going to do this live as well. So if you have any questions about what we're talking about, you can throw them in. We'll stay after a few minutes and answer any questions you have towards the end of this episode. I imagine it's going to probably be about 30 to 45 minutes. And what we're going to talk about today is we're going to discuss a few marketing examples. Rev's going to give a couple. I'm going to give a couple, and then we're just going to brainstorm back and forth how we could either improve those or what we would do differently to make them better or why they're great and why they work. So first of all, welcome to the podcast. Rev, hold on. Let me hit the start button on the recording because this is like the pre-show. All right? All right, welcome everybody to the podcast. Rev Ciancio is joining me again, and this is marketing examples. We're going to give you a few marketing examples of businesses who are doing great things in marketing and talk about what great, talk about what we do to improve. So Rev, thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast.
Bruce, I'm always honored to speak with you and honored to have your audience. You do incredible work and have some incredible listeners and followers. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, our audience is fantastic and they're eager to learn about what's working today, especially since the time we're in. It's a weird time. I think that this podcast, the idea I had for this, I was listening to another podcast where they literally just brainstorm why certain businesses are good. And I was like, you know what, we should do that for marketing. I should talk to somebody. And I thought, the first person I thought of was you because you're a great talker and we have good, I feel like you and I can go back and forth and we don't always agree on everything, but we do have good ideas. I said, let's come up with a couple ideas each. I'll come up with two. Rev's going to come up with two, and then we'll talk about either why they're good or maybe why you think they're good and I don't, or what you would do or I would do to improve on those ideas. And I thought that would be a good podcast episode. What do you think?
I'm into it. I just want to know what you think we disagree on.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's, you know why I say that? I say that because no, I don't agree with everything that everybody does, and I don't think that you should. And I think that when you agree with everything that somebody says or does, I don't think you're thinking enough for yourself.
I back that thinking.
Yeah, you agree with me.
So we still agree.
Nice. So I don't know. I don't know if there is going to be one that I disagree with. I was just putting that out there in case I do disagree with it.
Well, we clearly agree on who our favorite Avenger is. So
yes. That's for sure. I know you showed me yours before we got started, and I have Captain America back there. I also love Star Wars, as you can see behind me.
Behind me is Blink 182. That's the Wives and the Beastie Boys. So
nice. Well, the ex-guitarist from Blink 182 is super into aliens now.
Oh, really?
Tom DeLonge, right?
Yeah.
He's part of that show on the History Channel.
I don't follow, but aliens are probably real.
Yeah, I think they are too. All right, let's get into these examples. Do you want to go first or should I go first?
You go first. It's your show.
All right, so here's an example I have. And this is, I didn't ask this person if they would let me do this. And she's probably either watching or will watch this later. But that's fine. I'm pretty sure she'll be okay with it. She's in our mastermind group as well. And we've been talking about doing a live show or some sort of live show. At least I've been talking about that for a long time before the corona happened. And even specifically since the beginning of this lockdown that we were in, I said it's really important to get out there and be showing up every day. So Stephanie from Slam Dunk Pizza in California actually started to do a live Facebook show where she interviews other businesses in her area and gives them exposure. And in return, they give her exposure on their Facebook feed. She does this live, just kind of like you and I are doing right now. So what she'll do is she'll reach out to another restaurant that's non-competing or even a non-restaurant and kind of sit down, talk to the owner for about 15 or 25 minutes about how they got started, what they're doing in the community, what their business is about, and just have a conversation with another local business owner live on Facebook. And she does that I think she does it once or twice a month.
All right. And so the question is, what do I think of that?
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. Look, I preach this all the time to, literally anybody that'll listen, but if I go to your Instagram or Facebook page and it's just pictures of one food item, like it's pizza, or burger, like how boring is that, right?
Yeah.
I joke all the time is that your content should be like a song, right? You should have an intro and a verse and a chorus and a crescendo, right? And your content should play out a song. If all you have is pizza, you're basically playing a drum solo, right? You're just 4-minute drum solo. And yes, for sure, there are people out there that will listen to a 4-minute drum solo, but there's about this many of them. And so, when you can break up your content so it's a bit more interesting and it tells a story, then yeah, I think that's way better. And being like a community leader, a supporter of your community is a great way to draw audience to your community. Maybe I'm not the right person to agree with this statement, but nobody eats from the same restaurant or the same food every day, right?
True. No, I agree with you. And sometimes it gets very easy to get sick of that place if it's the same thing every day.
Yeah, I mean, I order from Ferrazzoli's Pizza Italian Kitchen once a week because they're around the corner, and I happen to love Matt Ferrazzoli and the food's good, but like that's excessive, right? However, the point is, I don't just order from Ferrazzoli's Italian Kitchen. I order from other restaurants. I also cook, right? So, I think it's a great way to bond together as a community and help bring awareness to your neighborhoods and your other local businesses. I think it's great.
I do too. We were talking about this inside of the mastermind group a few months back when she really started to do this, and I said, that's a fantastic idea. The problem is that not a lot of people are going to want to put in the work to do that, But I think that in itself leads to the fact that there's a space for people to do it, because if you take 10 business owners and say, hey, go live on Facebook and interview other business owners, just from being around business owners and being one myself, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be like, F that, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I think you get the fear of like, oh, why would I give audience to my competition? Or why would I be like, I don't know. I don't think it really does that. I don't, it's not like you're saying, hey, go buy this pizza instead of mine, right? You're just being supportive and gaining audience. And look, I think social media, half of it is about being entertaining on some level, right? Yeah. Providing some kind of value. And so if you want to be the community leader, I think it's interesting. I might suggest that, and I haven't seen this, so I don't, she might be already doing this, but if she's talking to businesses that aren't necessarily restaurants, like a dentist or a hardware store or like a plumber, like I think that's awesome. I actually think that's really awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just checked out our Facebook page this morning because I wanted to just see if she's still doing it. And she was talking to the local ambulance company.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it wasn't even like just restaurants. It was just businesses in her area.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit like, Eric from Perfect Crust Pizza Liners.
Yeah.
I'm not a restaurant, and I'm a marketing consultant, and I follow him and I watch all their content. I have no need to buy Perfect Crust Pizza Liners, zero.
Right?
And I'm not reselling him anything, but I love their content. He interviews people. They talk about businesses. He puts up memes. Like, he's got a great content mix. I think interviewing people is interesting. It at least shows that you care, that you believe in supporting others and community. And I think that's a great way to build a business.
Here's the thing that I may not agree with you on. I think interviewing people is great. I think 50% of people who interview people suck at interviewing.
Yes, there's a lot of bad ones.
It's a skill, and it's a skill you have to master where you're not just asking the same 5 questions on every interview that you do, wherever you put that interview, whether it's on YouTube or a podcast or on Instagram Live, whatever it is. You need to be able to have a conversation, and I think people mistake interview for asking questions versus having a conversation. There's a reason why Joe Rogan gets 200 million downloads a month, and it's not because he sits there and hammers somebody with the same 17 questions on every interview. It's because he has a genuine conversation, and when you show up to the podcast, you learn something maybe, or you're entertained, but it's different every time, and there's different genres and there's different topics, and I think that's what makes a good interview versus just showing up and being like, if I just showed up and you came on the podcast 5 times and I asked you, Rev, do you use Instagram? Rev, how do you post hashtags? Rev, what time do you post on Instagram? After the second time, you'd be like, this sucks. What am I doing? So you have to have a good conversation, I think.
That sounds like half the questions I get asked, though, from other people, or the ones I get asked in an interview. But yes, I agree. You need to have some sort of enlightening.
I lost Rev there for a second. Oh, there he's back.
You have to have some sort of enlightening conversation about something, right? Like just talking about the same thing over and over. That's called an episode. Right? Like, or I don't need that. A documentary.
Yeah, and I think that's what you should do. If you are going to do some sort of interview, you shouldn't have basic questions that you ask people every time. You should be like, hey, listen, here's the flow of the conversation. This is what I think we should touch on, but let's just make it super casual. And if you interview somebody, interview them like you would sit down at a coffee shop if nobody was there and talk to them that way. If you and I were at a coffee shop, I wouldn't ask you 17 questions about how to post to Instagram. We would just have a conversation about life and business, and Instagram would come up, and that's how it would go. So that's how you should do your interview.
Yeah, we would probably argue about pepperoni.
Okay. Yeah, we definitely would do it better. All right, so that's my first one. Let's go to your first one.
All right, so I don't have a specific restaurant to name here because I feel like it would be a bad thing. What is your opinion or your take on when a restaurant shares content to social media and they tell you to order from a third-party delivery service like Seamless or Grubhub or Uber Eats?
I think they probably shouldn't do that. I think that you're wasting your time and advertising push to give somebody else the data of your customer. I don't think that's a good idea. I think that if you're going to spend the time to really create content and push it out on social media, the goal should be to get those people who, if they're seeing that and it's not paid advertising, they're probably already your customer. Why push them somewhere else?
Yeah, I feel like I see it almost on a daily basis. Like, hey, order from us via Seamless, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, whatever they're using. And I get, like, if you don't have your own delivery people, like why you would do that. But there are services that you can get that it's called last mile delivery that you can outsource your delivery, and you should be taking your own orders on your website. But Bruce, I see it every day. And here's what I would say to that operator, okay? Do you think Grubhub would promote you? Do you think Grubhub, without taking money from you, would say, hey, please go buy from, Sonia's Pizza?
No. Only if they were trying to get customers to order more frequently, where they'll take customers from you and push them towards something else in that area.
Yeah, I came across the one I found yesterday, like literally blew my mind. Okay, so it was I'm not going to name check the business, but they basically bought a radio ad. Right, I was in my car, taking my car to the shop, and I was listening to the morning radio station, or morning show on the radio station, and they're like, "Hey, check out so and so business. They do X, Y, and Z, and they are known for their yada yada yada. You can order them on Seamless, DoorDash, and Grubhub." And I literally was like, "Wait a minute! You spent probably thousands of dollars on getting that FM radio station to talk about your business, and the call to action you left is order us on Seamless." Like that blew my mind.
Why do you think businesses do that?
I don't think they know better. I think it's either they're uneducated, right, or they feel trapped. Well, I don't want to hire delivery people, so what other choice do I have? And then they just don't know what the option is.
Yeah, I feel like I've done a couple episodes about third-party delivery like that, where businesses do use third-party, but they don't use it in that fashion. They use it as more of a discover thing where customers can discover them, and they use it more as like, I just talked to Mikey from Mikey's Late Night Slice in Columbus, Ohio, and he sets up ghost kitchens on these third-party sites and uses it as a way, like, he doesn't advertise go to Grubhub, but he is on there in a different name with different items that maybe he's testing out, and they can order from Mikey's Late Night Slice, and then he tries to convert them into his own customer.
Yeah, I think third party is an awesome channel for acquisition if you have the system built to move them to your first party.
Yeah, I agree on that 100%. I would never advertise, like, if I was a business, I would never spend $1 advertising to go to those third parties. And I don't see it as much now as I did when they first came out, but I do see it quite a bit.
I see it every day. But even if let's say you don't have delivery people, you're not interested in last mile, you're not taking your own orders on your website. That seems foolish. But let's say that that's the scenario. I still would not recommend putting on your Instagram post, order via DoorDash and Uber Eats. I would say call us. Put your phone number.
Can a customer call you and then you send that order through DoorDash or Uber Eats?
Why would you need to? I mean, you could, but why give them the money?
Because if you don't have a delivery driver.
Right, but I'm saying, like, you could tell somebody to come pick it up.
Right. Yeah, but sometimes people are lazy. I've tried that.
I get that. But again, I'm saying I don't know why you would do this, right? I don't know why you wouldn't have your own ordering. But the point is, I would never, ever, 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 unless it was a unicorn, name check a third-party service to tell you to go to them to order.
Let me ask you this: are these people who are doing that you see, are they new to marketing or social? Like, does it look like their channels are relatively new and they're just starting to like get out there and market online, or are they have been doing it for a while and that's just something they're doing now?
I don't take that. I sort of just scroll past it, but probably a little of both, right? I think it's just they don't know, or they don't understand, or nobody's shown them how to make that system. But you know, there's 100 service providers that can allow you to take your own orders, and getting last mile delivery is so easy. You pay a flat fee rather than a percentage, and then you keep that customer's email address and phone number and name, and you send them an email once a week with your specials. Like, that's not a ton of effort. That's actually really easy. It takes a minute to set up, but once that thing is humming, it's better than paying 30% and telling Seamless, please, please, please deliver my pizza.
No, I 100% agree on that. Yeah, you shouldn't do that. I don't think you should do that anyway. I don't think that's a great idea. I think that if you are going to do, I mean, listen, I was in business for a long time, and we did, like, our whole business model was delivery. So I know how challenging it can be to get delivery drivers and manage them and have to have enough. And not only do you have to have, like, there's that balance where you have to have enough delivery drivers in the beginning, or once you get established, it's finding drivers to fill the void. But in the beginning, it's finding deliveries to make sure that the drivers get paid enough to want to continue to work for you. So I know what that balance is all about, and I know how hard it is.
Yeah, and both Postmates and DoorDash offer a service that's a last mile service, right? Where basically you just pay a flat fee for the delivery. So you take the order in your system, an API call. Nobody on this needs to know what that means, but basically the system automatically pings DoorDash and they send a driver, and you pay $6.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Right? And so $6 might seem expensive, but you have the customer's name, you have their phone number, and you have their email address. Right. And if you're talking about LTV, right, like I told you, I order from Ferrazzoli's once a week. My LTV with him is huge.
But
right?
you can pass that delivery charge on to the customer, right?
Pass it on to the customer. Yeah. It's crazy to me.
Which, 3 years ago, $6 delivery charge seemed excessive. Now it doesn't.
Pretty standard.
Yeah. Like I would, if I saw that 3 or 4 years ago, I'd have been like, wow, $6 delivery fee. That seems like a lot. But now it's not that bad.
You'll laugh. The other morning I woke up and like I just didn't want to cook. I cook breakfast. So my dad cooked breakfast on the weekend. So I cook breakfast on the weekends for the family. It's like a thing. And the other day I woke up and I was like, I don't want to do this. What do you guys want? Pancakes. I was like, fine, let's just get from IHOP. I don't care. Like, let's just get IHOP. The kid can have his sprinkled cakes. It's fine. So we load up for 3 people. We open up DoorDash, which I think is who delivers it around here. And we load up our order, and there was $90 for 3 people to eat.
Wow.
$10 service fee. There was like another weird charge on there. Tax, tip, and everything was almost was 25% of the bill was fees. And I was like, I'll drive to the bagel shop.
Yeah, that's crazy. that's just crazy. Like, that seems excessive a little bit to me.
I was like, I don't need a Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity like that badly.
No, I mean that's excessive, But think about it this way: if you are a delivery, if you can figure that delivery in house, like, you could charge $6 because people are getting used to paying that, and keep it in house, or pay your delivery driver that, and that is his incentive or her incentive to want to stick it out with you.
Amen.
So we used to have, on Friday nights for us, we used to have 15, 17 delivery drivers on a Friday night.
Wow.
So I know all about managing delivery drivers and how much of a pain in the ass that is.
Wow. We should ask Frank how many he has.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. We should get him on here one time, and maybe the next one we'll get him on here.
Because he has his own. We're talking about Frank from Beach Village Pizza.
Right.
He has his own people, but he also he has all of them. He has Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash. He has them all. In fact, he doesn't even have POS. I don't know if you know that.
He doesn't? He writes it all down on paper?
He's got his own system, man. Frank is a machine.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
I'd be curious what his delivery scenario is. However, if you go look at his content, never once does he say order from Slice. Never once will you see him mention Uber Eats.
Yeah, I've noticed that. He always says call us or go like the link in the bio or something like that. All right, I'm going to share my next one now. This is a little bit of a different one. It's called Mr. Holmes Bakehouse, and you can follow them at MrHolmesBakehouse.com or on Instagram, Mr. Holmes Bakehouse as well. They have 126,000 followers, which isn't the best part. The best part is like what they do. So this was a bakery that pre-corona, people would go in there and they had a great marketing tactic where they would have this neon sign on the wall where you could go take pictures of, and they had a ton of people taking pictures of the neon sign on the wall and then tagging them on Instagram. But since they can't have people come in and do that, what they've transitioned to is more of a take and bake bakery. So you see a lot of restaurants trying to come up with recipes and take and bake and pizza kits. We see that a ton. But they've done this. So if you go to their website, mrhousebakehouse.com, mrhomesbakehouse.com, you scroll down a little bit and it says how it works. Steal our secrets. So they basically give you the recipe. You order whatever you want to cook that day. They deliver it to your house. You make the food. You take the credit. So it's a take and bake bakery, but they give you the recipes via video so you can kind of see and watch how to do it. They give you the tools. They give you the baked goods, and then they let you do it at home. So they've transitioned from a bakery where people would go in to see them, and they now send you all the stuff so that you can do it at home, which I think is what everybody's trying to do with these pizza kits. The problem is we're all trying to sell pizza kits, but we're not making ourselves any different, right? Everybody's just taking a picture of their pizza kit saying, hey, order this pizza kit and get it delivered to your house. But we're not really showing you anything else on like what you could do with that pizza kit or the different types of pizza kits that you could get and create content based on that to push people towards to watch, and then they'll order that pizza kit from you. What do you think of that, Rev?
I have a lot of feelings. So number one, no interest. I would not buy this, right? For me personally, like if I'm ordering from a restaurant, because I don't want to cook, right? So no, and like Gold Belly, same thing. Like I think that's cool that I can get Jim's cheesesteaks from Philly at my house, but like I have to be in the mood to cook. So I'm not the target market here. However, for sure, right? Prior to COVID, right? Restaurants, maybe not delivery restaurants, are about an experience, right? Yes. Why do people go out to eat? Because they're looking to leave their life for a half an hour, right? And just have somebody else serve the food and you be my servant and feed me something I can't make, and it's awesome. Well, in a world where we're barely open for indoor dining, New Jersey isn't even open yet, New York's not open yet, so there's no experience, right? The experience is the bag, right? All that time and effort that a restaurant puts into their tablecloths and their wine list and their layout and the decorations and the host stand and whatever, right? It's all gone.
Right.
It's all gone. The only experience you have is what comes in that bag. It sounds to me that if you're going to buy one of these bakery kits, they're giving you an experience, right? And so if you're bored on a Sunday and you like food and cooking sounds fun, that's a great idea, right? It's a super great idea. But the real answer here, Bruce, the real answer is it making them money? And is it making them incremental revenue? And if it's not, is it getting them enough awareness that people are buying their other products? And if it's not, then it's a bad idea, right? I'm going to give you what I mean, an example of what I mean. Kuma's Kitchen. Do you know Kuma's in Chicago?
I don't.
They have like 2-3 locations. It's a death metal themed hamburger place, right? It's awesome. It's super awesome. You go there, the death metal is screaming over the speakers, right? They have crazy mix and match macaroni and cheese. They have intense craft beers. Like it's an experience, right? They have these burgers that basically like I can't even pontificate like the most insane burger builds you've ever seen, right? And all of their marketing and everything that they're known for is these crazy burgers with crazy things on them. Do you know what their number one selling item is?
Pizza?
A basic cheeseburger, right? They're known for these insano, crazy burger builds and all the death metal and the craft beer. And you know what they sell? They sell cheeseburgers. So the point is all that craziness, all that insane product and all those weird burgers give them enough awareness that people will go buy their main product. And so back to the bakery, if the bakery thing, the bake your own whatever, isn't selling, but gets them enough awareness that people buy their other products, then it's a great marketing tactic.
Yes.
Right?
I think I like that response. And I agree with you that maybe you're not the target market and neither am I. Like I'm not going to buy a cake baking kit, but they do heavily market it on Instagram and my daughters would. And that's where they hang out. So maybe my daughters would never have known about this bakery, or not only would they never have known about this bakery, but we don't live in the city that they are in. So they would never even go in there. So this maybe gives them the at bat to get my daughters who don't live in that city as a customer, where they would never ever have them as a customer if they didn't do something like this. If it was just a visit us in our location wherever we are, because we don't live there and we're not even close to that. So I agree with you on that. The other thing is, you're right. The experience is what you get when you go to the restaurant. And I think converting, because we can't go into a lot of places, and if you can, it's not the same experience. Converting to a takeout delivery isn't just saying we're a takeout delivery, our menu is now available for takeout and delivery. You need to flip that a little bit and say, all right, like you said, I'm not going to pay $30 for a steak just because you decided to deliver it to me. Like, that's not what I want the steak for. It's not that. So what could you change on your menu, or what could you do inside of your restaurant to make it the experience better for me, or maybe a little less expensive? So I do want to get that something from you versus that fine dining experience that you offered me before. I think you have to think of it outside the box a little bit. What do you think of that?
Yeah. You familiar with Arden in New York City? Ardyn.
I've heard of them.
I haven't looked if they're still doing it, but they did this thing in COVID that was really cool, right? They're like a fine dining, really interesting, unique ingredients. But like, you go there for the experience, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have a 6-course meal and be blown away and pay $200. They did this thing in COVID where they changed to like basically we'll kind of basically cook it and then you assemble it at home.
Yeah.
Right? But what was unique is they delivered them. The 2 guys would come in a black and white suit, like James Bond style suit, and a giant bunny head, right? Food was brought in a briefcase. So you were like at your door waiting for this experience to show up, where like
that's unique.
James Bond bunny heads. And they created like I forget what they called it, but it was like a secret service of food. Like it was really well marketed. But what they did is they put together a cool experience. And so it went a little viral because people were like, oh, have you seen the guys in the suits and the bunny heads bringing the steak? Like, all right, I'm paying $30 now because I had a cool experience.
Yeah, that's a fantastic example right there. That's a great example of, I wouldn't order steaks normally, but like, you may, if you have friends over, want to be part of that experience because it is unique. And, people, the neighborhood would be like, look at those guys in suits with bunny heads showing up, but they do, what the heck are they doing over there?
It was really cool. Like, look, I don't live anywhere near Arden, but I saw it, and I had friends who ordered it because they wanted the guys to show up. So
yeah,
that's an experience.
100%. All right, great. What's your next one?
All right. So I have a restaurant who's actually a client, right? They pay me money. They got a negative review the other day. Somebody was very upset. Number of things went wrong. Lipstick on the glass. Steak was undercooked. Dirty plates. Slow. Like, they ticked all the bad boxes, right? Somebody had a bad day. And that review came in, and I said, okay, here's how we're going to respond to that review. Okay. And the reaction I got was this: how about we don't respond at all? What do you think of that?
I don't think that's a good idea. I think that just leaving it up there for somebody else to see with no response is probably not the best strategy.
All right. Well, we tackle that one quickly. I have more thoughts. So I get why somebody would not want to reply there, right?
I don't. Why do you say that? Why do you get why somebody wouldn't want to respond at all?
So it pain. Somebody has said your baby's ugly, right? That's painful, right?
Yeah, but that's like saying if I came into your restaurant and I came to your face and you're at the counter and I said, Rev, that pizza sucked. There was like, or I wouldn't say it like that. I would say that pizza stinks. It wasn't cooked great. Would you just stand there staring at me?
No, and that's my point. I don't understand why people look at online differently than they do in store, right? If somebody came up to you, like you just said, in the restaurant and made a complaint about anything, bathroom was dirty, food was cold, glass was broken, whatever, you would be like, I am so sorry. We're taking care of that right now. I can't understand the mentality of not using that same thinking to your online world, right? Why would you not extend the same courtesy? That seems crazy to me.
I think it's because what happens is the difference between, like, there's not much of a difference on the old's perspective of response because you want to take care of that problem, but they're probably like, that person wouldn't say that to my face, so why do I have to respond online?
Yep, there could be that. It's laziness. But I'll tell you this, right? Speaking from a knowledge base of several years of working in reputation management, everybody, and that's a number I'm kind of making up that isn't false, looks at online reviews before they go to a restaurant, right? Nearly every, even if you just look at the average rating score, reviews matter. And if a consumer actually reads reviews, and people do, right? If you actually read reviews and you see that a representative of the business responds to negative reviews, it gives you confidence as a consumer that if something does go wrong, you will take care of it. Because you know what? Things go wrong. It's the restaurant business, right? You're not making Legos, right? It's not like a factory. You just stamp out the same thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go into making a dish.
You know, a server could have a bad day. Your toilet overflowed. Lettuce didn't show up. That lot of things out of control, right? The consumer, when they see that somebody in the business is responding to reviews, positive or negative, it gives them confidence that customer service is of high value to that company, right? And Harvard Business Review did a study of this. Restaurants who have a representative that responds to reviews versus ones that don't, on average, have a higher star rating, right? And they also, in that same study, realized that a 1-star difference, meaning if you're a 3 versus a 4, that equates to almost 9% lift in business.
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
To me, good customer service says you should respond, right? 0.11%, 10% higher than your consumer, right? Customer expectation is that you're going to respond, and a 9% lift in business, I couldn't see why you wouldn't do it.
Right. Now, does responding to reviews lift the rating?
That's what I'm saying. The Harvard Business Review study found that that not only do they have more ratings, but they have higher ratings, right? They're rated higher than those that don't.
Okay. Now, I agree with you on that. I think that people who read reviews probably aren't your regular customers, because the regular customers probably don't have the need to go look up your reviews. I think that if you're looking to get new customers, or maybe you're in a town where people are visiting you, they definitely do. Like if I'm visiting a town and I don't know where to go, even if I know the place or I've heard of them, I still go look at the reviews before I go there. Even if it says there's a few bad reviews, I don't like not go there. But I do definitely look at the reviews as a way to make my decision. But if I know the place, I probably never looked at the reviews.
I think travel or local, it's the same. So I would say not responding to review is a bad idea.
So you respond to every single one.
But by the way, I don't want to blow that customer up, because we had a level set and they agreed and they responded and handled it well. But okay, my advice, and I taught a course on this yesterday, is if you have the ability, you should respond to every review on every platform every time. Customer expectation is that you won't reply. Okay. Customer hope is that you'll reply within a week. Okay. And 63% of restaurants don't reply to any. So if you respond within 48 hours, you've literally beat every single expectation that's out there. And if you can respond within an hour, you look like a god. Nothing says I care about my customers more than responding to them, right? If you get a review and you respond within an hour, man, you're going to blow somebody out of the water for what, 5 minutes of effort? That's worth it.
Does Yelp or these platforms alert the user that the owner responded?
Yeah, it's the best part. If a customer leaves a review on Google, regardless of what that, even if they just leave a star and they don't leave a comment and you reply, it sends them an email. And also, I didn't even think about this yesterday till somebody mentioned it to me. You get the last word.
So they can't reply again?
No. They can leave another review, but they can't reply. Wouldn't you always want to have the last word as a business owner? I mean, I don't mean that from an egotistical place, but like if you had a fraudulent review or you knew the customer was just a jerk, wouldn't you want to have the last word? Wouldn't you want other customers to see that you cared, that you were like, hey, I don't care that you were mean to my staff. I'm still a nice guy or a nice girl, and this is a cool business, and we care. Why would you not want that?
My whole goal in life is to have the last word.
You have all daughters, right?
I do. I didn't say I was successful at it. I just said my goal is.
How's that working out for you?
I'm terrible. I'm 0 for 100. But yeah, I try at least. But I agree with you. All right, those are great examples. Okay, well, this was a good first episode of the Marketing Examples show. I like this. What'd you think, Rev?
Listen, we talked about some of my favorite topics: how to market your business better and mistakes people make.
Well, if you're listening, yeah, 100%. Maybe a next one, I'll give an example of a marketing gone bad. One good, one bad. Maybe we can do that on the next episode. But let me know what you guys think. If you're listening to the podcast right now, Rev, where can they go check you out?
I am my name on every single platform, Rev Ciancio, and I know most people are listening. Like, I can't spell that. It's REVCIANCIO, and they still can't. So the fastest way to find me, if you can't remember that, is I run an Instagram account called Fun with Fries. There's 370,000 followers, and it is just pictures of French fries. And if you can't remember how to spell my name, go find Fun with Fries. There's a link to my regular account in my bio.
There you go. Simple as that. Do you have a website?
I do. It's yeahmanagement.com, but there's really nothing to see there. I'm really heavily reliant on social.
Well, what if somebody listens to this in 5 years and Instagram is gone?
Google expert burger taster, and hopefully I'm still the top 7 organic results.
All right, there you go. There you go. So do that. If you're listening to this in 2025 and Instagram you're like, what the hell is Instagram? Google, what is it? What are they Googling again?
Expert burger taster.
All right, good. You can go find us at smartpizzamarketing.com. Rev, always a pleasure. Thank you guys. If you enjoyed this episode, if you're watching us live, let me know in the comments below. And we'll see you in October for the next episode of Marketing Examples. Rev, don't go anywhere.
Thanks, buddy.